What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 30 of the Seemingly Unknown podcast. 30 episodes, John.
Man, I just to say this 30th episode, I am here with the director of Life Aquatic with Steve Zazu. Wes Anderson, folks, is in the house.
Listen, man, I'm home, dude.
You look like you have a Yeti trying to pull your teeth out as you become a dentist in the North Pole.
that may be true.
Is your
this
name
beanie
Herbie?
was actually my hair. My hair is like ridiculous right now. I washed my hair today, so it's like all soft and like frizzy and going everywhere. So I didn't feel like. Oh God!
Are you bringing the a ponytail back? Because at that walk this weekend, your hair looked longer than I've seen it. Really?
It's long. It's long in the middle. It's short on the sides. My hair just looks wild today, so I didn't feel like having my hair out. So I can't find any of my regular beanies that I wear on a like in the winter. I hid them from myself, which I believe is a joke that we saw this weekend where maybe it wasn't a joke, but I talk about that. My wife will put things in a safe place so she can find them and then she can never find them again.
Like the attic.
She'll be like, I gotta put this in a safe place so I don't lose it. And I'm like, okay, well, that you lost it. So, I'm just comfy, dude. This is my like comfy. I can't find any of my beanies that I normally wear. So
you look like
when I'm home,
you look like Owen Wilson in Royal Tenenbaums.
I probably do. Wow. So I when I'm home, I wear like double XL like hoodies and sweaters just to like comf out because I gotta be a rock star part-time, when I'm out there. So it's like, this is just like straight comfy, dude. What's crazy is like, I lost like 15 pounds over the last like couple months. And like, because of the sweater, I look huge right now. I look massive because I have a double XL sweater on. What did we do, John, this weekend? We were in, I guess I started out Friday night. I sat in with our friend Joe Bonamassa, Joe Bolapasta, as I call him. And that was fun. It was very humbling.
He just learned how to play guitar, right? Is that?
Well, if he did, he's really good at it. He's a fast learner, as they say. Yeah. It was good. Hog. It was great hog. It was fun. It was fun to do. And then you guys flew to DC Friday.
Yep.
And then I flew Saturday morning early, and we did the AFSP Out of Darkness walk for suicide prevention, which we do every year.
It's
that was fun. When we
first started doing it was like, obviously it was smaller or whatever, but to see it this past year is got as big as it got, and I know it was a lot more people. It's actually really cool and a pretty humbling experience. Just about everything like that. Whether
it was crazy to see. Yeah. It was crazy to see, still in a pandemic, in a very.
Yes.
I hate saying what side people are on because I hate both sides, but like in a very cautious city about COVID, there were more people than I've ever seen at the walk, which I thought was really cool. So I'm proud of that. It was fun. And then afterwards we did a birthday dinner for Eric Bass.
Yep.
Which was great. Yes. 58 this year, 50. I believe he is. Yep. Yeah. And, we did that at Joe's Stone Crab in DC. By the way, amazing food. Had a really good meal.
Amazing. That's Chilean sea bass.
Did you get the sea bass too?
Yeah.
That's what I got. It was really good.
How was it with the brown sauce though? Because that guy taught you out of.
He did, and you know what? I know as a cook. I usually can't have a maitre d' talk me out of things, which he did not. I still asked for it on the side, and he brought it on the side. He was 100% right.
Now, why was that? Because it sounded amazing.
It was because there's something sweet on the sea bass, and the butter's not a sweet thing. It's more of a savory thing. And I put I drizzled a little on there, and I took a bite, and I was like, he was right. He was straight up right. I was like, I thought the way that the sea bass was being prepared, I knew I would like it, but I knew I would like how that Dover sole was prepared better with the brown butter sauce. So I asked for a side of brown butter, and I asked the waiter I'm talking to the listeners now. I asked the waiter if I could get it prepared. Like I wanted the sea bass, but I want it prepared like the Dover sole. And he goes, I wouldn't recommend that. And I said, well, maybe I'll try it anyway. He goes, how about this? Just do it normal. I'll bring you a side of the. And I said, cool. And he did. And he was 100% right. 100%.
Eric had the dolphin, which was amazing. Fresh caught. And Barry had.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was still, we saw him bring it in, which was a task in itself
100%.
for them to bring that dolphin in. And also, it was in the Potomac, which is like, why was there a dolphin there in the first place?
The Potomac River.
That dolphin needed to die. He was asking for it.
For sure. And we're talking about the Potomac just east of Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah. Dude, I was so groggy when we got up in the morning it wasn't even the morning. It was the afternoon when we got up to drive. I saw the little harbor right there and all the like classic old buildings. And I asked John, and by the way, I'm as I get older, my geography skills are way better than they used to be when I was a kid. And I thought Vermont was on the West Coast. But I asked John, I said, hey, where's Harvard? And we were in DC and I know exactly where Harvard is. But I saw people like rowing on the little river there. And I was like, oh, this looks like Boston right now. And I said, where's Harvard? And he goes, Harvard. And I go, yeah, Harvard. And then somebody else goes, Harvard. And I go, yeah, Harvard. And everybody's like, what a dumbass, dude. I'm like, dude, I had just woke up. I was on like 2 hours of sleep. I landed in DC at like 9 a.m., went straight to bed, woke up right before we had to leave.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went and saw, which I've been thinking about, quite possibly the funniest hour of comedy I have ever seen in my life. And when I say ever, I'm putting Raw in there. I'm putting Delirious in there. I'm putting Live at the Sunset Strip by Richard Pryor in there. I think for an hour and a half, you and I were crying, laughing.
It's just unrelenting, on foot on the gas, and making fun of everyone and everything.
Didn't matter.
In the side of a good comedian, though, so I would look at you, you would look at Liam, we'd all look at each other, just laugh and be like, dude, we can laugh at these jokes because they are funny. And again, he went after men, women, every race, every politician. It was just the most fun. And then afterwards, talking to him, like he was just the most unassuming guy. So he definitely becomes someone different when he hits the stage, because I was anticipating someone who's just hyper nonstop backstage. Couldn't be further from the truth.
Super chill, dude. We went to go see my friend Andrew Scholes did a show, did 2 nights, not 2 nights, one night, 2 shows at the Warner Theater. It was amazing. Like it was amazing. And the opener, Mark Gagnon, who I've seen with him on the podcast, who doesn't talk a lot on the podcast, was hilarious. I mean, if I don't often like, recommend like, you got to go see this show. If Andrew Scholes, the infamous tour, is near you, you have to go see it. I don't think there was a 30-second gap between literal knee slapping, like coming out of your seat, standing up, pointing at the stage, laughing because you agreed with everything he was saying.
It was just the best. He was saying words and phrases, just super creative. Very on point when it comes to what's currently happening in the world today, literally on the hour.
Yeah, I mean, like he was like, I mean, dude, the Baldwin jokes he snuck in. I didn't know. Here's the thing. I didn't understand. Let's Go Brandon. I hadn't heard that story yet. So he said, somebody said something. He goes, yeah, let's go, Brandon. And I was like, I didn't understand the Let's Go Brandon thing yet, which by the way, if you haven't heard the Let's Go Brandon thing, we'll go into that
the
for
guy
a
went
second.
number 1.
What?
The guy that wrote the remix to the song went number 1 in iTunes.
I saw that. I didn't hear the song yet. I haven't even heard the chant. I heard about it at the football game. So Sunday I went to the Titans. I flew to Nashville, went to the Titans game, and then went to go see Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, Tom Segura, Donnell Rawlings.
What is that?
Great show.
Who's the roast master? Jeffrey Ross?
Jeffrey Ross was there. Jeffrey Ross was great, by the way. We were backstage in Dave's dressing room, and I think Donnell was on stage, and Dave was like, told Jeff to pick a bunch of people out of the crowd and just roast them. So literally he asked people who were like, yo, you know what you're getting into if you know who Jeff Ross is, obviously. But they were like, he was like, yo, Dave wants me to roast people. So I went out there for this. Like I was in the dressing room most of the time with Joe and Dave, and Jill Scott was in there. It was crazy. Jack White was there. There was I was inadequate. I was inadequately famous to be backstage. I was under famous. Dog the Bounty Hunter was back there. Yep. The real Brian Laundrie was back there. No, I was D-list at best in this backstage area.
Seemingly unknown.
I was very seemingly unknown. So I go out there and watch Jeff Ross just roast people, and it was so amazing. But so anyway, what Schultz brought up the Let's Go Brandon thing, and I found out about it at the football game. My friend Jacob told me about it. If you don't know, they were at a NASCAR race, and a bunch of people started screaming F word in the current president's name. And the guy, apparently, I haven't heard it yet, but apparently the guy on Fox, the caster, the guy on the call was like, and a guy named Brandon got number one, right? Like he won the race. So when they were interviewing him, they were chanting F current president name. And the guy calling it was like, oh, and they got their Let's Go Brandon chant going on right now. And I was like, stop it. That is not a real thing that happened. And apparently it is very much a real thing that happened.
Yeah, the person that said that, I think it was a girl. She got in trouble by the network, and people were just like, "Dude, you just made up utter bullshit." You heard
who got in trouble?
I think it was a NASCAR race where people started. Yes, and the woman who was interviewing the winner was like, "Oh, look at that! They're saying Let's Go Brandon," and he looked at her like, "Are you hearing what I'm hearing?" And he didn't say it, but you could hear it on TV for a split second, where it was basically saying, "Fuck, blah blah blah." And so they were just like, dude, what are you lying about? You're clearly lying on television right now what this crowd's saying, because they couldn't censor out at time. Hilarious.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh, my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just...
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like, you can't censor that out. If that's like a thing that's happening right now.
Correct.
Like, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, that's not going to be, I can't find the original one. It's got to be somewhere, right?
I believe so. To go back a little bit, though, on Thursday night, I got a missed call from a guy that works for the band Hootie and the Blowfish. Said, "Hey, John, give me a call. I need to talk to you ASAP." And I'm like, so I'm at dinner. I'm just like, I'll talk to you when I get home. Like, there's no rush here.
Were you out with Barry?
No, this is.
Oh no, this was Thursday. This was before you flew.
Thursday, right. So I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, if it's a tour, I can't do it. I'm sure I don't. So I'm like, whatever. So I called the guy back. I'm like, hey, what's up? It was the head of security, and he was like, hey, have you had a run-in with this Latrell Speedwell guy? And so I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, what information do you need from me? So he basically tells me what this guy was doing. So I'm like, well, give me a second. Let me get some pictures, get his cell phone. I'll call you right back. So obviously I don't call him right back. I immediately text Kent, Zach, and
I got the text.
I'm like, dude, you will not believe this shit that's going on. So I need pictures, all the stuff we joked about. I actually need all that stuff now because so turns out this guy was scamming Hootie the Blowfish. And he was also, this guy put me direct with the head of security for NASCAR. And it was like, hey, John, any pictures and stuff you can help us, you kind of collaborate the story. This guy has frauded NASCAR with over $12,000 worth of merch and tickets saying he's Latrell Speedwell. We know something's not right. And I'm like, well, how did you get to me? Because there's, and I'm like, and they're like, well, no, it's we people put us direct. They said they heard some news story of whatever. I'm like, well, Collective Soul and Shinedown. They should
broke the story
100%. And so again, yesterday they got up Sting. Kansas City PD showed up. They got him there to collect the stuff. They couldn't arrest him. They couldn't arrest him, but what they did, and he admitted to everything he's done so far on tape and all this stuff, where he is banned from any NASCAR event in the world They have his picture, date of birth, everything you can get from this guy, address, all that. He's also banned from any Live Nation event in the Kansas City area. Any promoter, any music, anything. They have him on this huge sheet. They're putting together the list for me now, almost like the FBI puts like a bolo type thing. But I'm going to have that in a couple days where, God forbid, this guy starts posting up at a tantric show or a Styx concert. We can send this along. But I was like,
fire.
He's like, man, this is so awesome. Thank you for the help. I go, man, this is Zach from Shinedown, the Collective Soul guys who I just happen to be involved in this bullshit.
We broke this thing wide open, man. What if Latrell Sprewell really loves NASCAR now he's not allowed to go back?
Well, I don't think they look alike. So I think
they for sure don't look alike.
I'm just like, small world.
That guy looks like an assistant basketball coach at a middle school.
Oh, for sure.
Like, but one who like molests people, though.
Yes, actual basketball players.
Yeah, he looks very molesty.
Speaking of basketball players, maybe this is a sore subject for Zach Myers here, but my Celtics center, Itez Cantor, called out LeBron and Nike for child labor camps today.
Who did?
Itez Cantor, the center for the Celtics.
Oh, Ennis Cantor.
Yeah.
You love saying people's names.
But it got me thinking, like, obviously there's people's always joked about Nike and Reebok sweatshops and stuff. I don't know the actual history or where the stuff is made, but I did think it was very interesting and kind of cool where these people are taking shots at LeBron to hold him accountable for a lot of the stuff he says.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy has no room. Like when all the China stuff came out and it was like he wouldn't like rebuke or whatever. Like I'm not going to go into it because I don't really know the ins and outs of it. But I know people were like, "Hey, man, your shoes get made for like 20 cents an hour or whatever." And listen, I think I saw a story one time of trying to make Nikes in America. They would cost $1,000 a pair or something if they were made here because of what we charge for labor, which honestly, I think Americans should make 27 cents an hour too, but it's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. I don't know. I mean, listen, the guy's, I don't know, man, he gets older and it's like, we disagree, not me and you necessarily, but I know me and people I know will disagree on like things where I'm like, people are like, shut up and play basketball. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Say whatever you want. I believe in freedom of speech, right? You can say whatever you want, but there's obviously repercussions for it. But it's like, as he get older, man, like I feel like he's like gets more senile. Like he was like going at Campaign the other night, who's on the Suns and is a Memphis kid. Like we grew up with him,
right?
And he was just like, Campaign was like having a game, dude, and like the Suns were torching the Lakers, and LeBron's on the bench. Just, whatever, I don't know, however, 18 years older than this kid going like, yeah, that's all right. Talk that shit. You were sitting on the couch 16 months ago. I'm like, motherfucker, you were on the couch last season because you didn't even make the fucking playoffs.
Right.
At least they made it to the fucking finals. You had literally one of the best teams built in history and you didn't make the fucking playoffs, you fucking clown. Like, I love LeBron James. I think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player currently playing basketball and has been for a very long time. Actually, I kind of disagree with that. I kind of think Kevin Durant is a better basketball player. Yeah. Because he can do all of it, right? But like, and I, again, when he was talking about like all the shit he was talking about, posting the cop was fucking stupid. That was idiotic. But when he talks about other shit, like, dude, talk about whatever you want to talk about. This is the same problem we're in with the Dave Chappelle thing right now. Like, I totally agree with freedom of speech, but like some stuff he's like, you can have freedom of speech, but sometimes you just say dumb shit. And he says dumb shit. Like, just what he does, you know what I mean? But like, I went to Chappelle Sunday and Chappelle, he recorded that thing that's on Instagram now that's making the rounds where he says, he did the whole show. And then after the show, he kind of did an encore. He didn't really leave the stage, but he did an encore and he was like, I want to talk to the people. And he's like, looking, he's like, which camera? And they told him the camera. And he was like, it's been said that I was asked to go do this. And they said I declined. He's like, that's not true. He's like, I'll have any conversation with you. But he sits there and says, he goes, but I will not be summoned. You're not going to make me come to you. Like, you're not going to like, and it's this thing where he goes, He goes, I don't really understand what we're going to talk about. He goes, because you want a safe working environment at Netflix. He goes, yet it seems like I'm the only one who's not allowed to come back to the office. You know, and it's like, man, this guy, I told him on Sunday, I go, hey man, I said, you know, you can't be shaken because you need to know that you are the most important person right now for freedom of speech. You're one of the only people right now because he's got the platform and he can't be canceled because he doesn't need anyone, you know, but he talks about how like he got de-invited from all these, all the movie film festivals. Yeah. And I saw a comment, you know, I saw somebody post, he goes, well, this is, now I'm apologizing because my career's over or whatever. I'm like, I just saw people commenting. I'm like, dude, I saw this guy put 20,000 people in an arena on a Sunday night in Tennessee as a comedian. This guy who tells jokes, and he can do that literally anywhere in the world, all day long.
Right.
That guy can announce an arena show for next week in Boston, and it will sell out.
Those shows he lost this morning already sold out. 10 cities, 10 arenas done.
I mean, they're amazing. I mean, it's, you know, and so getting to be there and talk to him was my first time actually meeting Dave. Was really cool. Rogan was great. So nice. Very engaging.
Just eating out backstage, shirtless, kickboxing.
He's the best. Small. He's not a big guy.
No, but he's 4 feet thick.
Yeah, no, he's shorter than me. He's 5'7" both ways.
Yeah, no, he's a fire hydrant.
Yeah, no. Listen, he's
Great
shorter than me. I do not want to get punched in the face by Joe Rogan. But again, I mean, just incredibly nice dudes. The backstage vibe. He was great. Really funny. Quiet actually, because you know Chris Porter put him and I on a Instagram DM together because we were like a couple times on that last Shinedown tour. He was in the same city as us. So I was like, yo, after the show, if you want to come out, he's like, dude, I'm flying out right after the show or I'd come. And, you know, him and Bert are really close. So I think Bert told him who I was, but I met him. I go, hey man, it's Zach Myers. I go, we talked through DM, you know, through Chris Porter and you were going to come out to the show. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, what's up, man? How are you? I'm like, good. I'm like, and that was like the end of the conversation. I was like, all right, cool. But I talked to Rogan for a while. I talked to Dave, and it was great, man. Like a bunch of my, you know, Kenny Wayne Shepherd came with me and my buddy Zach, and then
Jelly Roll was there too, right?
I got Jelly Roll in the show. Jelly Roll came, and Jake took care of everybody. It was really cool. It was really cool to see Jake work too. Like, you know, it'd probably be like me going to see you work for another artist, right? To where it's like, when you're working, I'm in it with you. You know what I mean? Like I'm standing right next to you. Yeah, I don't ever get to see it from like a third, like from like, you know, from this. So watching Jake work was really cool. I hadn't gotten to see him in a while, and it was, you know, he's got five guys, you know, for one dude. That's a lot of security.
Well, now especially there's people out there that
he straight up said that he had Country, who he's had forever, which is kind of like his personal guy, and he had these two dudes they call the Dragons, who were with Stormy for a while. After all her presidential stuff came out, and he hired these two new dudes, and he talked about that on the special. He's like, I got these two new guys. He's like, to watch over me. He's like, cause it's getting thick out here. But you know what, man, it brings me back to this, whole, like, you know who cancels more? And listen, I'm guilty of it because I support them because I have the fucking app and I check it every day like a fucking clown.
Facebook, Instagram.
No, you know, cancels more people than anybody just with how they choose to word things. And this is kind of a gripe, but I did have this written down.
Oh, today, a specific person or a group.
TMZ.
Oh,
TMZ is the worst.
Witch hunters, modern day witch hunters.
Fucking witch hunters, dude. They're just as guilty of it, man. Dude, truly fucking scum of the earth motherfuckers, man. That are just all they care about is clicks, and all they care about is ruining people's lives. There is fucking 0% humanity in what they do.
That Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, is going through the court stuff right now.
Yeah.
They wanted her a psyche eval to prove that she had issues because of his, obviously. But one of the things that came out was organizations like TMZ are putting stuff out there, autopsy footage and accident footage and crash site footage before Vanessa and family members were even known. It's like this race to just be this most vile organization where
it's how they word things too. They word it specifically, you know, like with the Chappelle stuff, right? So like I was watching the Chappelle thing.
He's canceled.
Yeah, like and you know, like and he doubled down on his transphobia. I'm like, so last night I on Instagram and on Twitter I posted the definition of phobic. Here's the problem with these people trying to cancel people, right? And here's another big problem is a lot of the people who are, it's the same thing. I was talking about this, like I always joke about how white people ruin everything, right? Like when the Dr. Seuss thing came out, not one Asian person was upset. Not one. It was these fucking stupid ass little fucking social justice white kids who fucking need something to be fucking mad at. They have no purpose in life. They have zero fucking purpose in life. You're a fucking turd. All of you. All you do, your only job in life is to try to fucking ruin what someone else has done or a legacy they've created. Gripes. And listen, don't think I'm a person who thinks cancel culture is pinned on everybody. I've said this on this podcast many times. I've said it in interviews. There is a difference between people getting what's coming to them, i.e. Marilyn Manson, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. That's getting what's coming to you. And people canceling people who you have nothing to do with the subject. You're just standing up for somebody who doesn't need to be stood up for. They, you know, like Asian people weren't upset about the Dr. Seuss thing, right? So when it comes to the TMZ thing, all these people going, oh, he's transphobic. He's transphobic. He's not you think he's afraid of trans people? Like he's going to run away? It's a phobia. It's not a phobia. I've said this last week. He doesn't understand it.
He also talked about his good friend that committed suicide.
That he supports her kid now.
Right. So, but no.
And he also talked about because that person was a trans person and they supported Dave Chappelle, how quickly the fucking community turned on her.
Oh,
they fucking turned on their own. They don't give a fuck, man. I'm not saying trans people in general don't give a fuck. It's this cancel culture society doesn't give a fuck. I support gay people. I support trans people. I support anyone. Do whatever you want to do. If that's what makes you happy in life and you feel that's what you are, fucking do it. Be proud of it. I don't give a fuck. Do it. I want you to do it and I want you to be proud of it. I want you to be proud of it. But at the same time, like it's these other people who aren't even in the community. Those people who walked out of Netflix, they weren't fucking trans people. Them motherfuckers don't even know trans people.
Right.
Now, if you got a trans friend and you think that this guy's actually saying something that is hurtful, all right, shout out to you for standing up for what you believe in. I agree with people standing up for what they believe in, right? But like, you know, a person saying that it's not a two-sided conversation, it's about, you know, people who want us to be alive and people who don't. You think Dave Chappelle wants trans people dead? You fuck. You dumb fuck. You think he wants you to die? He sits there and says he just doesn't understand it. Yeah, I know you're into this, that I'm fucking losing my mind right now.
Let's go.
Listen, man, I just don't. I'm fucking so over this shit of like, you can't be in the middle. You're fucking, you're with us or you fucking want to murder us. That's fucking the dumbest. It's dismissive too, to not have a conversation. The truth is, you don't want a conversation. You don't want a conversation with Dave Chappelle. You want Dave Chappelle to think exactly how the fuck you think. And if he doesn't, then fuck you. And it's such bullshit, man. It's such fucking bullshit. And TMZ is the fucking perpetuator of this shit. They were like, he was in Nashville and they showed the crowd like during COVID. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't show crowds at football games. There's 90,000 people at every football game.
Or peaceful marches.
You're not showing that crowd and going mid-COVID or whatever. I'm like, and like he also, and they're like talking about the jokes he said, because he fucking started off the show hilarious. He walks out and he kind of looks somber and he goes, I would like to read a statement. And he pulls out a sheet of paper. He's like, to everybody, I've offended with my jokes. Fuck you. It's like, just start like, goes off. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. So, I mean, and they talked about that. They stated that and they're like, and he said the F word. And I'm like, dude, first off, the F word's funny. Andrew Schultz said it 5 times the other night. I laughed every fucking time he said it. And oh, by the way, I saw another TMZ thing today where they talked about Delonte West. Did you see where Delonte West got arrested?
after he got helped by Mark Cuban.
He got helped. Yeah, Mark Cuban. Then he was arrested the other day.
Yes, he's an addict. He's going to always fight that demon.
Yeah. So he got arrested. And of course, TMZ posts, Delonte West goes on anti-gay rant. He went on a rant and he said a bunch of crazy shit, like that he was better than LeBron James. He was better than Michael Jordan. He says all this crazy shit.
LeBron's mother.
Mom, yeah. Probably his wife too. Probably both of them. It's probably threesome. And he says all this shit, and then he calls one of the cops an F word. That's called going on a rant. They have to sell the story, right? He went on an anti-gay rant. Dude, black people say the N word and the F word more than anybody ever, and I think it's hilarious, and I think they should be able to. I think they should be able to say whatever they want.
I just don't care. Like, why do I care if he says that? That's between him and his later in life. Like, when you get to heaven, the pearly gates, and you got to deal for your sins or whatever. But I'm not out there saying that. But so what do you? Shout out to Andrew
Schultz. Shout out to Andrew Schultz for one of maybe the greatest pro-life jokes I've ever heard in my life.
Right. Amazing.
Yeah, he literally he goes on a rant, and that was like literally 1/10 of the rant. But the headline is Delonte West goes on anti-gay rant.
They just want people to pile on people who have issues or demons or bad. That's just, for me, I don't.
Can we hire a PI to go through Harvey Levin and just find out some wild ass shit about him? He fucking ran over a kid on a fucking tricycle in the 80s and covered it up. We can set
that up though, for sure.
Oh, we know a couple people, dude. We can set that up. After that, I flew to Nashville, and some news. The record is done. It's done. It's finished. There's nothing more to do. The Shinedown record is done. It's finished. And I was flying to Nashville, and I was at the airport, of course, because I had to fly to Nashville. And I was in first class, and there was a lady who was behind, it was a small plane, so the first class was only like 4 rows. So a lady behind me, and in the most ironic scene ever, she had a Pearl Harbor sweater on.
Ooh.
On a plane. Seems weird. B, why do they sell Pearl Harbor sweaters? Why do you think that is? They don't sell fucking Auschwitz sweaters. They don't sell fucking Doomsday sweaters. Right, now they don't sell D-Day sweaters. They don't sell fucking, Normandy Beach sweater. You know what I mean? Like, why sell Pearl Harbor sweaters? Can you tell me that?
Imagine you're on the plane, you look over at some guys wearing an Oklahoma City bombing tracksuit. You're just like, are you marketing?
And it didn't say the shit didn't say Pearl Harbor, never forget. It looked like a fucking Panama City beach, straight up, just like tourists.
Interesting. Because I know military bases will do that, especially Pearl Harbor and the history of it. If it's never forget, or the dates or names on the back. But if it's just a generic,
it's just like a generic, a picture of the flag and the date. It wasn't even like a movie sweater. Like, there wasn't even a fucking picture of Ben Affleck on it. You know what I mean? It was just like a straight up. It looked like a fucking frat sweater. So anyway. The irony of A, wearing a Pearl Harbor sweater on the plane, B, owning a Pearl Harbor sweater, period. Is that person that's 8 rows back and rushes up to the front? And I was trying to get my bag, and you could tell she's scooting up closer, to the next guy. So I can't stand up. And I'm like, bitch, you're in 11E.
Animals.
I'm in 3A. You're back there. I'm just trying to I got one bag. That's all I traveled with. My little backpack. I'm just trying to get my backpack. And she's bouncing me out of the way. So literally gets off the plane as fast as she can. I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, you know what? Maybe she had to pee. I don't know. Get off on the jetway. She's standing on the fucking jetway waiting on her checked bag. Her gate checked bag. God. You're fucking rushing to get off the fucking plane, lady. And your fucking national disaster fucking sweater that you have on an airplane.
She's wearing her.
That's like wearing a fucking Titanic shirt on the fucking Shipwrecked or something.
Right. She's wearing the shirt on the back that says "School Shooting World Tour." It's all the dates. I hate people, man.
Visit Columbine.
Yeah. Like, it's just like, what are you? I don't get this. People are so stupid.
Yo, I was just like fucking annoyed, man. And that city, dude, like even at the airport, it was like everybody had, they had one of these things, right?
Songwriters.
They had a guitar. They had cowboy boots.
Big Bass
Or they had a fucking fedora on or a cowboy hat.
Songwriters.
And some of them had all three.
A lot of hits there. A lot of hit singles in that gathering.
Dude, it was so annoying, man, to like, I just like walking to the airport, like, and I'm like, I was trying to think, like, am I getting like old and like crotchety?
There's a small chance you are, but it's because well, you're not that old. I mean, you're what, 30?
38 next week.
30. Damn. Yeah, you are ratchety, and
get off my lawn.
You'll be
I was
watching.
like walking through the airport and everything was fucking annoying. And then yesterday I went to leave my room to go to when we were mastering the record. And there's these two like influencer chicks and they're outside my room and they're taking pictures by my door. So like I walk out and immediately go, okay, well, they don't know who I am.
They thought you were Ed Sheeran.
No, they like didn't. They would have known who Ed Sheeran was for sure, but they didn't like. They weren't outside my room because they knew who I was. That was ever apparent from day one, right?
They're like, oh, they're filming the new Wes Anderson movie here. Oh my god!
I didn't look like this.
Oh my goodness!
I think diamondback rattlesnakes are gaboon vipers. I bet
coral sea snakes are pretty venomous too.
Viper. He was asking which viper.
How about coral sea snakes? They're venomous. I think it's a word.
This is a trick. He probably knows the answer and he's asking me.
Right.
You'll say hi?
Hi.
I see you in a couple weeks.
John said he sees you in a couple weeks.
I'm bringing down my pet snake.
So he's bringing his pet snake with him.
Done.
Wait, you have a snake?
Oh, I have a snake.
Yeah. It's covered in gray sweatpants right now. All right. I love you. I'll be down in a little bit. No. He does not. All right. Love you. Why do you... He points with his middle finger.
Yeah,
so
I love
weird.
It. I love
He
it.
goes,
Subtleness.
when he points. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh
Those
yeah.
two
So the influencers were outside my room and they were like all taking pictures of each other. They had like the little ring light, like a handheld ring light, and they were like taking all these pictures. And I guess I was in room 819 and their birthday, like one of their birthdays was August 19th. I was like, I'm gonna murder everybody. I hate everyone. I don't get the influencer thing. Like I was trying to get a picture of it because I was waiting on the elevator, and I was trying to get a picture of it for Influencers in the Wild. Which, by the way, if you don't follow Influencers in the Wild on Instagram, it's amazing. Yes. Another good one is Worst Buy, which Eric turned us on to. No, it's like Best Buy, but it's just called Worst Buy. Fantastic Instagram follow. It's so good. So this Brian Laundrie thing came out that they found a body, right?
Yeah.
And they found his notepad and they found some other stuff in a park that had been closed for like 3 weeks because it had flooded, I guess. Do you think that's his body?
Well, did they come out and say it was?
Of course they did.
It just seems really convenient that it was there the whole. Just the placement of stuff. Now either he was murdered too and didn't do it, and the parents knew who actually did it, or they are just using this as a means to end the search for this guy.
This motherfucker. There is no fucking way that's him.
It makes no sense.
Dude, the FBI couldn't find this motherfucker. The FBI couldn't find this motherfucker in 2 months, but his parents found him in 10 minutes.
Right. Dog the Bounty Hunter got close to that. And you're just like, dude. What? Yeah, I don't.
So I'll tell you a story, and this is kind of what I think probably happened. So one of my friends who you've met, I'm really not gonna name him because this is kind of a fucked up story. So his brother went in the army when we were still kids. We were probably like 16, and his brother was like 19 and went in the army. His brother was in the army for a couple of years. realized that he didn't want to be in the Army anymore and wanted to get out. Obviously could not get out. Tried to find someone of his similar build and height and looks. Tried to murder the guy. This is a true story. Tried to murder the guy, slit his throat, and then put him in a car and set the car on fire. So the guy didn't die, by the way. And my friend's brother has been in jail in an army prison no, not an army prison, but he's been in a prison, I don't know, 20 years. For that reason. And that's kind of what I think is the deal here. I think maybe there's no fucking way that's him.
I just don't, when they talked about the decomposition of the body and stuff, like there's no way, especially if it was underwater, it wouldn't decompose that way.
You wouldn't be left with a skeleton in 30 days.
Exactly, because floodwaters, if it was a body of water where alligators and fish are nonstop, sure.
But they said there was like they said that wasn't a place like
no, it's in a field of like overflowed water. No way.
Dude. Yeah, that's not. There's no fucking way, man. There is no fucking way that that's him.
So the other day I was when I got home yesterday, I refilled all the bird feeders. And I always change them out, especially when it rains. I don't let wet food and all that shit. I give it to the squirrels. But it got me thinking as I watched birds and stuff all day. And I have like these 5-6 things going across the yard, like all different birds, different seeds, whatever. Imagine if for humans, we could throw out like hamburgers, scrambled eggs, chop suey, like all this random food. It would bring random people into your yard. How cool would that be?
Well, you probably could, depending on what neighborhood you lived in.
Like, what if the cities with like the really big homeless populations is a cool way to feed them? Just throw a bunch of random stuff, all wrapped up, preserved, like these little containers. They all come in here, they all talk to each other and socialize and eat, and then they go away for the night, then come back the next day for lunch. I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
I mean, they already shower in public fountains.
They should do that. They should do that at shelters. Just throw it out on the ground. Like,
oh my God. The woman from Home Alone 2, the pigeon woman, is just throwing out Big Macs.
Yeah, Piers Morgan. Wasn't that Piers Morgan? Didn't he play that role?
Yeah. Just throwing out wet pancakes.
You ever seen that picture where it's Piers Morgan and the lady? And
so good.
Oh my God. That was so great. Did you see where I can't talk about the person I was going to talk about there, and now they're going to know that I was talking about them immediately. Did you see where I don't know if you know this, but Alec Baldwin fucking murdered somebody?
Man, I don't know.
I'm not making a joke about it, but it's like I've seen all the people post like all the anti-gun shit and making fun of him. Like I can't imagine, like, you know,
killing someone's killing someone.
Dude, like I can't imagine, like, you know, ever since the Brandon Lee thing, like that really hasn't happened again that I've heard about. So like
stunt people have died doing stunts.
Yeah, but not like a bullet thing.
Right. The gun stuff, that's very sensitive. Like they should have an armorer, the chain of custody with stuff. Like I've been reading that the live round was put inside this prop gun. I mean, the problem is prop gun's still a gun.
See, that's what I haven't heard yet, if it was a live round or if it was like something lodged. You know, because with Brandon Lee, it wasn't a live round. There was there was the top piece of the blank got lodged in there from the last blank. So when he shot it, it fired a projectile at him, and that's what killed him, right?
Right.
So, you know, listen, I can't imagine living with that, knowing that happened. You know, I can't imagine what he's going through right now.
I will say though, in our group text, we usually we're faster than TMZ probably. Me, Kent, Paul, and Zach. I saw a text late night going, guess what, guys? Alec Baldwin murdered someone. And I'm just like, what?
That was me. So, yeah, I sent that.
I immediately Google Alec Baldwin. I'm like, oh God, man. Like, this is so, like you said, tragic for her.
I think I said, guys, Alec Baldwin's a murderer.
And I'm just like, dude, like, you just can't throw that in a text without no context. So it's sure enough.
I thought everybody had seen it by that point.
No, I was into it. I woke up right in a
now you see. Now do you see that who's getting involved in this now?
No.
That's what I was going to talk. I was going to talk about somebody. I was going to bring up somebody, but then they're immediately going to know I'm talking about them, and their self-worth is already too high.
Do they follow this podcast?
No, not that I know of.
Oh dear God. Who's it involved? Alec Baldwin? And so someone that knows Alec Baldwin?
No. So the lady, the director of photography, I believe her name was Helena I think it was Helena. Maybe. I don't know her name.
The cinematographer was killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now Q is getting involved.
QAnon. Oh, you're talking about how her next thing was going to be.
Her next project was going to be like a anti-pedophile ring deal.
Yes.
So I'm interested to know kind of like what's going on with this, because like this is kind of wild to me, you know? Because
I believe you could see her upcoming stuff, and it was, I believe people have already said.
But you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if somebody added that.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying? Like to
sure.
make it like, I feel like that's something somebody would have added to like try to make look weird. You know what I mean? Like,
nothing can happen in our day and age, especially the last couple of years, where nothing is tied to some nefarious. I mean, something bad happens, like, oh, George Soros funded it, or something. Oh, it's because. I mean, I want to believe all this stuff because I do think evil needs to be eradicated. But
evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight, baby.
Evil dies tonight.
At what point do we as people evil die tonight? Do we just be like accept?
You had to say that. You had to say that.
Why can't we just accept that tragedies can't exist without some overbearing thing? But imagine if this actually is true, though. Like, come on, dude. Like, there's no coincidence.
Listen, they were talking about people in Hollywood touching kids forever, and it turns out fucking Jeffrey Epstein was fucking little kids. So, I mean, listen, there's definitely some conspiracy theorists that we owe apologies to at this point.
100%.
You know what I mean? So, I meant
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Corey Feldman for sure.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, probably Macaulay Culkin as well. But Macaulay Culkin was the guy that came out and said, like, yo, like, I don't believe any of these Michael Jackson kids. He was like, that never happened to me, and I hung out with him more than anybody. And
he was more about his parents fucking him over with money, and like people when he was growing up, like very like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, like controlling type shit.
Yeah, well, when you're a kid. I mean, listen, and he got fucked up for a long time. Seems like he's probably back on track now, but JR's gonna put that fucking yawn thing over me again. I know he's gonna do it. I yawned. He put some weird fucking goofy shit over me last time, which is pretty good. All right, I got some gripes.
You better watch out. You better be nice, or you might find yourself in Zach's gripes.
How is like undercover boss still a thing?
If I worked for any 9-to-5 job, I know exactly who my bosses are and higher ups. If they want to wear a Dr. Clue or a Guess Who costume or a fake mustache, like, I'm going to stop. Just stop.
That's what I'm saying.
Be a good boss and focus on your dividends and making money and overseeing. But you play dress up. Like, what are they getting from that? Except a box of Kleenex just to cry their eyes out because they are shitty bosses.
My thing about it is like, I don't, for me, right?
Could you imagine? What are you, Barry, Brent, or Zach, or you, Barry, Brent, or Eric, dressing up as like this in a festival, as like this local roadie, trying to infiltrate our roadies? If you sat down at a table with me, Steve, Carter, or whatever, and you started talking gibberish with a fake nose or a toupee, I'd be like, get this fucking guy out. Does this guy have meal tickets? Get him the fuck out of here.
Well, that's my point is, first off, if I could disguise myself any way I wanted to, and you'd be like, that's fucking Zach.
Dude,
there's
he's
no
on
way.
Stage in 2 hours.
Listen, if some guy walks in, listen, you work at fucking Chipotle and you own a Chipotle, and then you're an employee there, and some guy walks in and he looks like fucking Beaker, and he's got a fucking big ass nose on and a weird mustache. You're like, this is my boss. Like 100. I fucking know this is my boss.
If a guy walks into catering, he looks like Larry David. He is not who he says he is.
Dude, if Larry David walked into catering, though, that would be so good.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like Curb. Amazing.
I saw the one with Seth Rogen. It looks like Seth
first
Rogen.
episode came out. The last two. It's amazing.
I gotta watch it. I'm very excited about it because my life is.
It's all you. It's all gripes. Yes.
What?
It's all gripes and bullshit. It's the best.
That's what I'm saying. Like my life is a Larry David skit. So anyway, like, yeah, I just don't understand like how like people are going like, yep, I still believe that this guy, hey Ted, you don't look anything like Randall, my boss. Even though you got a fake mustache on and a toupee and these weird glasses that obviously have a camera in them.
Right. And you drive the same car.
What if they do change the cars?
They'd have to go deep because if that's, why is this guy banging your wife if you're not him?
I meant to tell you, yeah. What if they found that out? What if the guy was like, the guy comes in as an employee and one of the guys who cooked chicken at Chipotle is like, yeah, that guy's a dick. Anyway, Daryl back here is banging his wife who makes the guacamole.
That's the double thing. It's actually for the bosses to realize their wives or husbands are cheaters.
Like, yeah, anyway, yeah. Randall is a real dick.
Yeah.
And they're talking about their boss and like, yeah, Daryl who makes the guacamole, he's been fucking his wife for 4 years.
He started working here last year.
Yeah. I was about to say he's worked at Chipotle for 4 years. It's not a lifetime job, I feel like. Oh, you know another one that's kind of like this, like the same thing is, have you ever watched The Masked Singer?
I'm familiar with it. I've never watched a full episode, but I've seen who's been on there.
The show, okay, first off, the idea for the show was great. The people that they get on the show are great. The fucking judges
they're paid to be stupid. They have to be dumb.
Kim Jong is on there. Kim Jong is a genius.
Yeah, but I think they pay him to act stupid though, because man, the way we take in entertainment, sports, TV, movies, music, there's not a single celebrity out there that me,
a celebrity
you,
who
and
are
Kent
around all these people. Dude, I know what you're saying. Your gripe is my gripe.
We would know who this person is.
It's not. Here's the thing. There's people's voices that I can't. Like when Daughtry was on it, I was like, bro.
T-Pain can actually sing, which probably threw people.
Yeah, and Hanson was on it. I knew it was them. I could hear their voice immediately. Daughtry was on it. As soon as Daughtry, I was like, bro, I know this voice anywhere. Here's my problem with the show. This is my gripe. Here's where lies my gripe. Is these are famous people who know other famous people. And the shit they guess. You know what? I'm going to go with that's Brad Pitt. I'm like, bitch, Brad Pitt is not coming on your dumbass fucking C-list celebrity show.
No.
That ain't fucking Brad Pitt.
In fact, Brad Pitt would pay everyone to shut the show off TV right now. Dude, he should.
They're like, you know what? I think it's Tom Brady. Like, bitch, this is not Tom Brady.
Or some people are like, they're so off. It's like, is that Dee Snider? It's Whoopi Goldberg, you dumbass.
Yeah. Like it'd be way more realistic to go. I think it's probably who hasn't had a career in a very. That's Gary Coleman. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's Kimmy Gibbler. You were close.
Yeah, you're right. And ladies and gentlemen, Dave Coulier. Like that's
is it made out of?
Yeah, like that's one of those ones you'd bid. But it's always like, I think it's Julia Roberts. I'm like, bitch, Julia Roberts has never watched this show. She doesn't know what this show is. No,
this costume's in a wheelchair. Like, come on, dude.
Dude, so stupid. Like, stop guessing. Listen, I know what you're getting paid. So they're probably getting paid a lot. But you know what your budget is, dude. You're not getting, like, it's not Kim Kardashian.
I wish there was a show for, like, athletes that could do, like, whether it's kicking football or throw a football.
And then you got to guess who it is.
Guess who it is, basically. You know how tough that would be? But
it would be good
they have to do their trademark, like Jeff Hornacek, touch the face. Like they have their set thing that they do.
It'd be super sick if there was one for like fucking too. Like if you were like, you love porn so much that they're like people.
Another Thomas the Tank Engine, Zach Myers of the Farewell, folks.
Like you cover like their tattoos and everything. Yeah. And like you cover their faces and you're like,
I think that's a guy.
That's Lex Steele for sure.
I know that shovel handle, Lexington Steel. Yeah. Nope. Damn it.
Nope. That's not him. Shit. Johnny Sins. That's Johnny Sins
but
for sure.
But they give you like an eyebrow or like an ankle or like an asshole, and you're like, I'm not sure that is. Give me a queef. Oh, got it. I got it.
What's the British guy? What's the British guy that's always in everything? Gray hair. Look like he could be James Bond.
Miguel.
No. How do you know so many male porn stars? Dude?
Oh no, it's Mick Blue.
No, Mick Blue's not British. Why do I know that? He's like he's like Eastern European. Kieran Lee. Kieran Lee is the guy I'm thinking of.
He's a Taken villain. Oh shit.
He said Mick Blue in a minute. Within 3 seconds, I go, he's not British. Just know immediately who it is. Like, oh yeah, no, the guy's not British.
Oh man,
I can tell the difference between a UK circumcision and a European. None of those guys are circumcised, so it doesn't matter. Kieran Lee was the guy I was thinking of. Didn't he have his dick insured for like $1 million or something?
I don't know. I have to research that possibly, folks.
You know what I'm talking about. Oh, I've got a gripe, and you may have something to do with it.
Big Blue is not
when the tour
that's the episode title. Big Blue is not British.
Mick Blue is not British.
So stupid.
Like Mick Blue, I'm like, not British. I'm like, how do you know who all these male porn stars are? Mick Blue, Eastern European. Get your shit straight, John.
Yeah.
Have you heard his accent? You can't understand a fucking word he says. He's clearly not British. Good hog, though.
Oh, the best.
Great hog.
Yeah.
So you may have had to do with one of these gripes. So one time, I like vintage brass knuckles. John knows this about me, and I have a lot of them, and I always bring one on tour because sometimes if you're in a shady neighborhood on tour, you want something on you, and I don't really love carrying a knife. So one time I was on tour and I brought my brass knuckles with me, and I forgot they were in my backpack. I know this is a legal weapon, by the way, and I'm saying this on a public forum. So do that and go through security, and they pull me aside, and I'm like, I could literally, you can see the screen, and I'm like, this isn't going to be good. Because they can arrest you for that. And the lady goes, what's this? And I said, oh, I just collect vintage brass knuckles. It's not like a weapon thing, which it is. I was like, I forgot to put, she's like, these are illegal. And I said, yes. She goes, but anyway, she goes, good show last night. She goes, go put them back in your bag. I was like, thank God. So she was at the show, a fan, obviously. Let me put them back in my bag. Fast forward, Sanjay gets me a knife from Ravencrest, the yellow one, the original attention knives. He got me a switchblade. So do the same thing. Forget it's in my backpack. And I go through the airport, and that guy at the TSA was not at the show the night before. And I had to throw my brand new Ravencrest tactical knife away. So rewind about 2 weeks ago when we were on the road, John, and I was looking for my switchblade that I could not find, and it was in the back lounge cup holder of our bus.
All right. Yep.
And I said, hey, I can't find this. Then I talked to you and Jeff. You and Jeff looked everywhere for it. I left it in the back lounge cup holder. I checked all my stuff. So we're getting ready to fly. I'm flying home. Where did we end? Orlando. So I'm flying home. I have 3 suitcases plus my backpack. I have to leave ungodly early to get to the airport. It's like 5 a.m. I'm drowsy. I'm about to walk out the door, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to look in my backpack.
Jesus,
to see if my new switchblade is. My new switchblade was down in the front pocket of my backpack, not the big pocket, which is where I would always put it. I would never put it in the front back part because that's where my chargers are. Someone put that in my backpack.
It wasn't me.
Someone pulled was that Sam Kinison? His wife one time put a fucking loaded gun in his bag when he went to the airport. Somebody fucking with me, and someone put a knife in my bag when I went to the airport, and I'll fucking kill them, whoever they are.
That's funny.
Bullshit. You making a face right now.
No, there is no, dude. I was looking for that. I tore apart your bed while you were sleeping. looking for that thing.
Dude,
And
I
Jeff-
could not find it.
Went through every closet back there. We could not find. We found all your used rubbers you put on carrots, but we never
Carrot rubbers.
Yeah, carrot rubbers. But we never. We found that bag you Bethany kicked out of your attic. You brought on the road with you.
Yeah. All right, I got one more. I got one more gripe. Can we stop with the if you got to change your password, right? Like you forget your password for something basic. Your fucking Weber Grill login. You know what I mean? Like I have a Traeger, so I have a Traeger Grill login. Something happened the other day where I was like, it was something bad, like something that did not need to be private or secure. And I, reset the password. Dude, you could put in the most impossible password. Like, nope, it needs this. It needs one of these. It needs two of these. It's got to have three of these. It's got to have it. I'm like, this is my Samsung refrigerator, man. I don't need, my password does not need to be that fucking hard to figure out. Like, they're like, oh, nope, or security not strong enough. I'm like,
wait, so you're telling me if someone hacked your Samsung refrigerator, I could shut that off right now and make everything go spoil?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Starts typing. No, I don't understand that. Like, it's like security too weak. I'm like, listen, Weber Grills. My security's not too weak. It's my fucking Uber Eats login. You know what I mean? I don't need all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my pork Yozis aren't going to be hijacked by cyber criminals. Like
let my password be Michael Bolton 33, which it's always been to everything I have.
Yep.
Let's move on from this. I don't need my fucking Starbucks password. I don't need security. I don't need it to have like one emoji and fucking one exclamation point. I don't need all that shit.
Right.
Fucking annoying. Stop doing that shit. All right, that's my last gripe. You want to do some shamans?
John the Shaman, keeping you on track. All you gotta do is touch his big old sack of mail.
Go ahead, bro.
This is from a female. Hey guys, I'm still loving the podcast. You guys are hilarious. So I had something happen the other night, and I thought about you guys. Wow. I had gone to bed and started falling asleep, but then I woke up, but I wasn't able to move. I started calling out my husband's name to get his attention, but no sound came out of my mouth. I could see him on the computer, but I couldn't even move my head. I waited it out. After what felt like a few minutes, I was finally able to move again.
Okay.
When I was a kid, this used to happen. Earliest I remember was junior high. I used to see hallucinations at the time, like a spirit hovering over my body, keeping me from screaming out or moving. It happened a few times a year. As I got older, I found out about sleep paralysis. Once I understood what was happening, I no longer hallucinated. Now I just can't move, and I wait it out. I was just wondering what you think about this, and if any of you have ever experienced this. Thank you for the weekly laughs, and hope you're all doing well.
Okay, so the other night, when I went to go see Joe Bonamassa, he has a star coach. He was asleep on his bus, and he's been talking about all this weird stuff happening on his bus. So he said they get hotel rooms every day. So even if they pull into a city at 5 a.m, if he's up, he'll get off the bus, go into his room, stay in his room till 4 o'clock when they leave for sound check. He goes, I was in my bunk, and he tells a story. He's having like a sound check party. He tells a story to the sound check party. And I'm on stage with him because we were about to play the song that we were going to play that night. And he goes, I was in my bed in the back lounge. He has a star coach. It's like, and Clay had come in, Clay, his tour manager, had come in to tell him that they were at the hotel. He goes, but it wasn't Clay. It was somebody I didn't know. He goes, I felt like someone was in the room. And when I looked up, no one was in the room. He goes, and I tried to get up and I could not get up. He goes, I was like laying there and I was trying to move and I could not move. My eyes would move, but nothing on my body would move. And I was just laying there and I felt someone walking towards me.
Ugh.
So that's super weird that you said that, because I've actually had sleep paralysis before where I was like laying down in a hotel room and I could not move. Where I was just like,
but are you awake or is this part of the dream?
No, I don't know. I really don't know. It certainly felt like I was awake. I felt like I was awake because I could check the time. It was the accurate time. I think one time I did it and like my phone went off and I could see my phone, like somebody texted me and like
you look down and like all these demons are crawling on you, like jerking you off and you can't move.
Oh, I mean, listen, they're jerking you off.
They're male demons.
Like this isn't Mick Blue's room. What are we doing in here?
They're all spitting on you. They're ghost spit. It looks like dust. It looks like cold air in the hot room.
God bless the spitters, man. I like it. I was into the spitting thing. You know what I mean?
The actual spitters or like the ghost spitting?
The ghost spitting. Yeah. No. My kids are going as Ghostbusters for Halloween, by the way. I don't know what we're talking about.
Hell yeah.
Hand jobs. I don't know why my kids came up, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Are they into like S&M stuff? Like, does her husband like ever like tie her down?
Right. Like, I don't know if she'd ever share that with us. But if you're listening, which you are, please follow up with an email because I am curious. I always thought sleep paralysis was you just kind of just still waking up, still part of your dream. And then when you finally move again is when you actually wake up. That's how I always thought it. But if you and Joe are held down in bed as two jilted lovers, Zach, I don't know. You can't move. Like, how do you stop that?
That was me holding him down, actually.
Do you think Joe has ever had sex while playing guitar?
Hey, that guy's at least gotten a beach while the guitar was in his presence or his hands, for sure. For sure. That guy has for sure gotten beached out while playing guitar. Maybe even plugged in.
He drives a truck, and we saw him at rehearsals where I was kind of like, what the hell is this? The truck he actually drives on the road looks like the truck he parked in front of a wider.
It's a Fred Sanford truck.
Or a floral place as decoration.
It's a flower bed now. It doesn't even work anymore.
This guy is driving a flower bed around.
Yeah, it's like a 1940s like a mechanic's truck.
It had a flashlight on the muffler too. That's how I knew it was him.
The Bonamassa flashlight. Get it now. All right. What's the next one?
Nice little comment here from a male. Love the mental health portion of the recent podcast. I think all the listeners need to hear that it's okay not to be okay. Much respect, guys. That episode actually went over really well, and a lot of messages for people saying this was a really very much different than what we normally do, but very much necessary. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to do more like that. I like the serious ones too.
Here's a question. Another man. This is geared for Zach.
Another man.
Been listening to this podcast since day one. I have a question for Zach. I was at the longest Shinedown show played ever at the Sylvie in Madison, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Zach played the Dracula song from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He attached a 2-second video. My question is, why do you have the song memorized? It was hilarious to see, but I'm genuinely curious why you know the whole song. Thank you. I am too, because it is weird.
I know if I like a movie, I know every word to it, start to finish. And I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's one of Brent and I's favorite movies together that we love a lot. I also know the Hangover song, where he's sitting at the piano. The What Do Tigers Dream Of When They Take a Little Tiger Snooze? Which is a great song. I don't know. I love movies. So like me and my brother only talk in movie quotes. Like me and my brother could have a 100% conversation only using quotes from Dave Chappelle's one of his earliest comedy specials, Killing Them Softly. Like literally anytime me and my brother are together, I talked to my brother the other day. He said, "Where are you flying?" I said, "DC." He goes, "Word." Cause that is in the Dave Chappelle comedy special when he talks about the joke where he's like, he gets to a city and he's like, this limo driver picks him up and the guy's driving and as he stops in the hood, and there's like a little baby on the corner selling crack and the guy's driving and he goes, "Where are you from?" He goes, "DC." He's like, "Oh, word." So like anytime I say DC, Jordan says word. Like so it's like I've always talked in movie quotes with my brother. Like that's kind of always what we've done. So, and if I like a movie, I know every word to it because I've seen it a million times. So that's how I know the Forgetting Sarah Marshall song, because to me, it's one of the top 3 moments in that movie, which is a priceless movie. I mean, it's such a great film.
Yes.
And I jokingly one day, like an idiot, at an Alan Mac Myers and More sound check, no fans in the audience, just played it, joking around. And then Justin, so on Alan Mac Myers and More, what we do is, if I start the tour making the set list, the next night's Justin, the next night's Zach, next night's Chris, and then it goes back around a circle. And the set list cannot be argued. Whoever makes the set list, that's the fucking set list. You can't change it. It can
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're playing in Louisville. I forgot the name of the place. It was a big place. Smith Myers had played it too. And I didn't look at the set list that night because I trust JR. It was JR's night and he did pretty good. I walk on stage, like they're like, all right. And they let me go up the stairs first. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Usually JR will walk first or whatever. I walk up the stairs first and I look back and no one's on the stage with me. I'm like, what are y'all doing? He's like, set list. I look at the set list. It's like Dracula song right off the bat. First song of the show. I was like, dude. So that was my first time ever playing it on stage in front of people. And I did it. And I was like,
it's getting kind of hard to believe I've been drowning too long to believe that the tide's going to turn. I've been living too long to believe things are going to get easier. And to try to shake off the pain from the lessons I've learned. And if I see Van Helsing, I swear to the Lord I will slay. Give it to me, but it's so, I won't let it be so. Blood will run down his face when he is decapitated. His head on my lap, and it's how I will let this world know how much I love you. I can't.
this is fucking terrible. And then it caught on and the band saw a video of it. And then Alan Mac Myers and More were playing in St. Louis one time and the whole band came. You might have been there for that, actually. You might have, that might have, I don't know, maybe you weren't. The whole band came to the show and the show was sold out. There was this little, Shinedown was playing St. Louis on the Saturday and Am was there on the Friday. So it gets quiet. We just play the song and from the balcony, I hear Brent Smith, Barry Kirch, Eric Bass just go, Dracula song. I'm like, dude. And then everyone starts cheering. So I have to play the Dracula song again. So it's only happened on stage like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, I think it did happen that night. I've actually forgot that it happened that night. But that's how I know the words. And that was indeed the longest Shinedown show ever. I believe it was almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, it was a long one. Here is a question for us.
Okay.
Assuming your significant other sacrificed themselves so you could survive, you are tasked with repopulating the world. Who would you want to repopulate the world with? Ooh. It has to be. So for us girls, right?
Yeah.
Mick Blue.
Idris Elba, like I've always said. Dude, if I was a girl, I'm fucking Idris Elba. That's just the way it's going.
Him or Tom Hardy, for sure.
Not Tom Hardy. I'm not. I think Tom Hardy's attractive.
I would say repopulate. Man, they have to have good-looking kids though too. I would hate to create a new race of people just ugly as sin. I would do. I mean, I've always liked like Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel type people.
Dude. Well, Jessica's like one of the nicest people on planet Earth. So.
She is.
So is Kate Beckinsale, actually.
Maybe Kate Beckinsale.
Here's the thing.
Like Jada Pinkett Smith was hot.
Yeah, I'm okay. I have like 3 or 4.
Jennifer Love Hewitt, maybe, because she can fight serial killers. I like that.
So hot. Salma Hayek, obviously, my always number one. She'd have to quit smoking though.
Great vampire.
Eva Mendes.
Oh, from the other guys.
Yeah, dude, Eva Mendes is like. I'm only picking Spanish women right now.
Right.
Rosario Dawson.
Smoke Show.
Yeah, amazing, beautiful.
The Night Nurse. Yep.
And Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're all on the same lines. I mean, we're picking.
And also Jenna Jameson as well. No,
I don't know.
I was kidding about that.
Oh,
I was bringing back the porn thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a great question, actually. Hey, you know what? I have a question. I have a question for listeners right now. I've never been a guy who's into pornography. Like I've watched it, of course, but it's not like I'm not in my hotel room every day off. Like, no. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
In my younger days, I had probably hooked up with more porn stars than I'd watched porn. And I said that out loud. Sometimes I forget that we're recording this.
Porn's also going mainstream where these people are on different podcasts talking about their lives, whether it's Arbella Danger, Riley.
But it wasn't. It's not something that like
Sasha Grey.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just like was never like, it wasn't like I watch it as soon as I get to my hotel room every day. You know, like I couldn't tell you the last time.
My feet.
I couldn't tell you.
I have calluses.
But yeah. I did have an interesting conversation someday about people when they were talking about like they were like talking about. I was making fun of astrological signs, which I always do, and they go, don't ask people astrological signs. They go, ask what their porn search is. I was like, that's genius. So I'm asking our followers in the comments on YouTube or on our Instagram, just literally DM us. What is your porn search? What do you search? Like when you're getting on whatever Pornhub, I don't know any there's other ones, I'm sure. The one I used to frequent way back in the day was Eskimo Tube. Remember Eskimo Tube?
What's that?
That was like, again, I don't watch porn a ton. So,
Eskimo Tube
was one back in the day.
Sounds like the LimeWire of pornography.
Listen, it was a very HTML basic site. I will say that there wasn't a lot of graphics going on.
A little dial-up butt fuck.
Dial-up butt fuck. How is that not the name of the episode? Dial-up butt fuck. Yeah, a little dial-up butt fuck. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Dude, I got scorched on LimeWire so many times where I thought I got rickrolled. I was like, oh, I'm about to get this new Jenna Jameson Flashpoint scene. Ooh, I'm about to get this who was the one on, I'm friends with her on Facebook. She added me. The chick who was on the cover of Blink-182's big record.
Oh,
Janine.
Yes.
I was like, I'm about to get this Janine scene, and then next thing you know, I'll get like a scene from like General Hospital or something on LimeWire. Oh, so mad.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Anyway, in the comments, and DM us. What's your porn search when you get on? I'm more interested in ladies than I am men. What they think, because
so maybe next week you and I can jump on here. We could do like a whole episode dedicated on making fun of people's searches. Yeah. How specific?
Making fun of people's searches. Hey, tell us your deepest, darkest secret so we can make fun of it.
Right. We won't use your name. Never do.
No,
unless it's family.
Unless it's me and I say who it is.
Right.
Also, can we bring back the SUP challenge since it's Halloween? Can you guys please give someone Skittles or M&Ms. But if you're giving them M&Ms, mix some Skittles in the M&Ms. If you're giving them Skittles, mix some M&Ms in the Skittles. Make sure you keep there's not a brown Skittle. So don't put a brown M&M in a Skittle, but like red, green, blue, whatever. So do that. Hashtag SUP challenge or DM it to us. I want to see you give your friends or your kids that. And I just want to see what would happen because that sounds like the grossest thing that could ever happen to me.
And if you could be that really lame person or adult to give out erasers, pencils, notebooks, and apples to people, I want to see that
yourself.
box. Yeah. After you give away all that food and notebooks to these kids too.
Oh my God. Also,
You guys get
John, do you have anything else? What?
No, but does all you kids, your neighborhood, you guys all kind of go house to house? You have to leave your little community area.
I don't live in a neighborhood.
No, but like your little fenced in your area. Do you guys just stay in that area?
Houses. No,
yeah,
we go,
but you just
we go. My friend TJ has one at his house, and we go there, and then we usually go to the where we used to live, which is like where the Moors live now, and a bunch of my friends live in Germantown, which is Germantown is German it means rich white people.
Yes, a lot of book burning.
Yeah, that's where the Moors live, and a couple other people. So, you got anything else this week?
No, that's good.
All right, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, your main man, your favorite man. This is my brother Nick's favorite part of the podcast, and I don't mean the actual movie. I mean the theme song. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Kent Sinkler with the movie of the week.
There goes Kent, reading movies. Gonna talk about touching boobies.
Hey everybody! Tonight on Reality Kings Channel 594, we have an absolute classic. Just this 90 minutes of just action-packed, great acting, a lot of romance. This is a really good one. This is Stuff My Hairy Latina Cooch. Beautiful Latina girls show off their hairy little muffs before sucking and riding rock-hard dude meat. That's Stuff My Hairy Latina Cooch, $11.99. Reality Kings Channel 594, 9:30 to 11 p.m. Stuff My Hairy Latina Cooch.
There's your boy, Mick Blue.
Man, Mick Blue is a star.
Yeah, dude.
If only he wasn't British. Man.
Yeah, where's Mick Blue from?
I don't know, but he's got his eyes just pierce right through you.
Well, here I go. I'm getting on a fucking watch list now, baby.
Like,
Let's
Blue
do this.
has the eyes of someone. Mick Blue has the eyes of someone that probably fucks people who are in purgatory. Like, that guy is like interdimensional. That guy
What does that even mean?
I don't know, but he's like, you need to like, he's a succubus, literally.
He's a succubus. He's Austrian.
Enough
Put
said.
a shrimp on the bar.
Done. Good day, mate.
Is that Dumb and Dumber?
That
Where
shit's-
she says she's Austrian.
Yeah.
He thinks it's Australian. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mick Blue is Austrian. He's also a 45-year-old man. So praise God. There you go.
With a hammer, with a spade shovel, flesh shovel, he just throws down, digs all the ditches.
Austrian,
Dude, that guy.
Austrian flesh shovel.
Dude, how many episode titles? We need like variant episode titles.
We're like multi-episode titles. You know, we had last Thanksgiving we had in Austria. Remember that? We had a meat sword. That's what Mick Blue has.
Yeah.
That's what they named the meat sword after, dude. Was Mick Blue. Mick Blue came in there one time with some chicken cutlets and some onion rings on there. And they're like, shit, dude, we got to put a meat sword on the menu.
Right. That's how
I have photos of that. There's photos of the meat sword too.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. He
Yeah.
just goes in there and just smashes cutlets and meat on there and just twirls his Johnson over an open flame and cooks the meat.
Dear God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 30. You know what? You guys fucking name it. Who knows what it's called at this point? Please subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Click the subscribe button. Click the notifications button. Like it. Listen to it on your favorite streaming services. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Check out John's other podcast, Spirit Talk, which I am on for the very first time. Halloween night,
Sunday.
everybody. Yep, I'm going to be on there for the very first time. My time being on Spirit Talk. It's me and James Drew Courtney and John, who plays Michael Myers, obviously, and done a lot of other things. And we will see you.
Boards.
Oh, absolutely. Smith and Myers tickets are on sale now, ladies and gentlemen. Go get them. And we will see you guys soon. If you have advice, if you have any messages, if you have dreams that you need us to look after and take care of you, email us at suplifeadvice@gmail.com, John.
suplifeadvice@gmail.com.
Take care, and we will see you next week, you fucking nerd.